Well, we bring a very special edition of Arise 360 today, taking a look back at Africa's creative economy, the creative economy that took center stage in Algiers as the Creative African Nexus Canex returned to this year's Intra-African Trade Fair. From music and fashion to gastronomy, film, and big picture conversations about the continent's creative future, Canex 2025 brought together global stars, policy leaders, and young innovators shaping the next chapter of global Africa. Let's take a look at this special report from yours truly. From music to gastronomy, fashion to film, and the powerful engines driving Africa's creative economy, Algiers became the beating heart of global Africa as the Creative African Nexus Canex returned to the Intra-African Trade Fair 2025. I'm Sheyiton Atigaren, entertainment and culture correspondent at Arise News. And over the next 30 minutes, I'll take you inside the ideas, the energy, and the collaborations shaping the future of African creativity. From presidents to prodigies, global stars to regional innovators, Canex 2025 was a vivid demonstration that Africa's creative sector is not emerging. It is here, it is global, and it is unstoppable. Starting with a conversation with the immediate past president of Afreximbank, Professor Benedict Orama, whose leadership has defined an era of creative sector investment across the continent. Under Professor Orama's tenure, Afreximbank transformed creativity into a pillar of intra-African trade. His reflections set the tone for the full week of bold ideas and continent-wide collaboration.
Our role at Afreximbank institutions like ours is to serve as the catalyst, to serve as opinion leaders in all of these things, to help shape the thought on how things will go. And because we're a financial institution owned by Africans, controlled by Africans, we also use our resources to make sure we promote these things. And that's why we have a big Canex program. We don't have to do a Canex program, so to say. We're doing that. And in the process of doing that, we're taking the lead in trying to sort out the kind of things that our young people who are actually leading the way are not able to deal with. Access to finance, intellectual property, being able to produce content and own and control it so that over the years, they will continue to reap the benefits. So we feel that those things require certain kinds of support capital. We are in a position to provide that. Other institutions like ours, I believe also can be in the position to do that. But we believe that unless we show the way, others will not follow. If we show the way and the people see that we are doing it and we're actually making money out of it, they will follow. And it becomes win-win for everybody. And that is what we are hoping for.
The official Canex opening ceremony reinforced this vision with dignitaries from across the continent and the diaspora. Their addresses highlighting the policy frameworks enabling Africa's creative future.
This year's theme captures the spirit of our shared heritage and our shared destiny. It reminds us that across continents and oceans, from Africa to the Caribbean and the wider African diaspora, we are bound by history, enriched by diverse traditions, and empowered by a collective vision for the future. Our culture is not only a reflection of who we are, it is one of the most powerful tools our nations possess to transform economies, strengthen unity, and inspire generations. The creative and cultural industries, music, film, fashion, visual arts, literature, photography, gastronomy, sports, and more, shape how the world engages with Africa and its diaspora.
The FTA Secretariat to be part of the journey of Canex to support Africa's creative industry, one of the fastest growing industries, not only in Africa, but one of the fastest growing in the world. Africa's creative industries is valued at over $50 billion and employs millions and millions of young Africans across the length and breadth of our continent. It is a significantly potential market which remains untapped. And that is why we are very much a strong supporter of this initiative, so that our artists, our designers, our young entrepreneurs receive through this platform the support that they need, the infrastructure, the financing, the policy support, and all other tools that are required to enable young people to take advantage of the AFCFTA market.
From its emphasis on financing cultural industries to cross border partnerships, Canex is a platform where culture meets capital and ideas translate into impact. One being a high level conversation on building a roadmap for Africa's global live music industry, bringing together key players shaping concerts, festivals, and touring across the continent.
A combination of collaboration and a much more commercial approach. We need companies that can actually do the end-to-end of live music production and live music monetization. So I think it's about building better companies. There might have to be some, I'm a private equity guy, so there might have to be some M&A. Some people, not everyone's going to survive, but those that survive will be better for it.
Collaboration is very much key for us to be able to make a successful ecosystem out of Africa. Another one that resonates with me deeply is capacity building. Definitely, we need to build capacity and expertise across the various aspects of the creative economy, and see how that helps us.
We need to start learning more about each other and what we do, and figure out how we can bring that together and emphasize, and I guess compound on each other's ability to win and succeed, and really just focus on us owning our own space, our own narrative, and our own stories. I think that was the biggest takeaway from the room. And
Africa is historic, but when it comes to certain things, we're still nascent, and we need to really come together and work together to build structures that are not just structures that we see today, but structures that are run by us, structures that can thrive into the future years and continue to promote what we do. Our culture is really big and is an important part of us. And just being in the room with the different players, there's so much we really can do together. We're one continent, very fragmented, different countries, and I think it also plays in the way we show up. And so if we really want to get the best out of the creative economy in Africa, we really need to come together.
The panelists agree. The world is watching Africa. But to truly compete at scale, the industry needs infrastructure, investment, talent pipelines, and cross-border mobility. The session concluded with a clear message. Africa is not simply part of the global live music conversation. Africa is a destination.
There's a lot going on in Africa, but we've been working in silos. And that was why I spoke to the point of the conference that I'm building for live entertainment specifically. And all the players in this room are some of our delegates. And this is what we're talking about. How does Africa, prioritize ownership? How do we ensure that we're able to do business more easily, across board with each other? So I think AfriExim has done a fantastic job. I know all of these people, but this is the first time I'm sitting down in the same room with them, having these proper conversations.
It requires that all the stakeholders work better on more often together. And this is why AfriExim Bank has got a very important role also to bring together the industry, to contribute to the funding. They can't be the only one, because obviously other investors need to step in. But I think it was a very productive, very insightful discussion. And now I like action. We shared a lot of ideas, proposals. We have to make sure that now we execute.
For us to get here, we didn't even get the opportunity to have all of this greatness in one room. Now we have people that are intentional, that are passionate, that are willing to invest in live music, not just to come and take from it, or not just to do business, but we need to understand the culture, we need to understand Africa, we need to understand how we're helping each other, how we're investing in one another. You're an investor, I'm an investor. Everyone in this room is an investor, but we need to understand what capacities we're investing in one another.
Then, culinary rivalry took center stage as the Canex Africa Jollof Wars returned fiery, friendly, and fiercely patriotic.
Congratulations to the winner, Senegal. Their assertion that they have the original jollof has been validated today, but it's not all lost because taste is varied. But for me today, the most, the winner, the real winner for me today is Suriname. Not because, simply because they had no background for Jello. They they've never done this. They don't have it as part of their culture. And for the chef to create something that was so close to what we know as Jello and to come second, that is a huge cause. Should get a special prize for that effort, a huge effort. So well done to the whole, to all of the chefs. Well done to Senegal and to Suriname this time. That's what I say.
Just imagine what brought me here. I'm here because of food and I'm competing and we all had fun cooking. So it's such an amazing experience. So I would like to say that parents should just leave their children to, follow their passion, follow their dreams if they want to cook. So don't look at it like, how can you be in the kitchen cooking? Because it's something. Food is the future. Food is what is bringing everybody together.
It was Canex who made me know about Jollof because I did not know about Jollof. And when they asked about Jollof, I thought, okay, where am I going to taste the authentic Jollof rice? I was asking people, I checked on the internet, okay, what is it? How do they prepare it? What do they put in it? A quote of my mom is, when you cook, it's not about feeding people. It was about putting love in it, carrying in it, and spread it. So I put love in it. And I think that was made it come that good.
From Nigeria to Ghana, Senegal to Suriname, chefs battled with precision and pride. But beyond the taste, Jollof Wars has become a celebration of heritage, technique, and culinary storytelling. And this year, after a fiery showdown, Senegal claimed the title.
Senegal takes it. Senegal takes it.
As soon as I knew there was a Jollof competition, I knew I had to do my uttermost best to represent Senegal. The other countries must know that this is the best Jollof in Africa, but not in a competitive way, but to better valorize Senegal's gastronomy. So it was a huge challenge for me. I really wanted to make Senegal proud.
I think tonight it just shows that different people make jollof differently, and every single one is uniquely special. You can see it was a very, very close race, but altogether, all the chefs put their heart and soul into making it. I was back there with them, watching them, hustle it out to make sure that that jollof rice came out top notch. And I tasted all the jollofs, even the one from the Caribbeans, coming second place. You can imagine, I think it was altogether just showing. You can see the crowd was raving. It's a fun time surrounding jollof.
The platform we present, whether it is a Canex weekend or Canex at IETF, is simple. We want to promote trade and exchange in Africa's creative products, whether it is in services or is in goods. And that's what we're doing. It's a platform to ensure that we expose the world to the creative goods, the creative products that Africa has. And what does that do? It helps with partnerships. It will help with them to monetize, commercialize their products, and more so in food. Not enough is said about Africa's culinary prowess, but it's there. The Jollof War remains a very important part of this, but in a sense, it's a unifying factor.
Still in the culinary space, new to Canex this year was the Junior Chef Competition, spotlighting Algeria's next generation of culinary stars aged 16 to 21. 8 finalists competed over 2 thrilling days, blending African ingredients with Algerian traditions. And after an intense cook-off, Fatma Zora was crowned the inaugural champion.
Congratulations. This is amazing. Our first place is a good feat. Can you just tell me, how are you feeling and are you glad that you took part and you won this competition today?
First of all, I'm very happy because I win this. I worked too hard to take this, and my feelings I can explain to you because I'm so happy. That's come back to my parents. They helped me a lot and my family all, and thank you. That's all.
All right, then. So just quickly talk to me about what are your plans? I mean, you're going to be mentoring with Chef Rahad, but what are your plans as a young chef? What do you intend to do? What's next for you?
Well, I'm trying to get another formation to get a lot of information in my career. I want to make something, and maybe in future, inshallah, I'm gonna open my restaurant. You can come also.
One of the major panel sessions, the Canex Creative Return by JVL, saw a star-studded panel moderated by Omar Ben Yedda that explored how cross-cultural partnerships and co-productions can unlock bold new markets. The message resonated. Culture is capital, and collaboration is the currency that will move Africa forward.
For me, one of the biggest takeaways is that we're in the right place at the right time with the right people. And Africa is full. It's full of everything that it needs to accomplish what it wants and what it needs. And we have to really stay on task. We have to remember that it's about, as well, trust. I think we've inherited legacies that make us not trust ourselves and trust each other. And right now in this season, what we need is collaboration. And to do that well, we have to trust that the other person is great at what they do and trust in their skills. So if it's storytelling, you trust the storyteller. If it's finance, you trust the finance. And trust that we're not going to put each other in deals and situations that communicate the same thing that was done to us in the past.
The biggest takeaway today, and it has always been on my mind, is collaboration. And the fact that we need to focus on the African continent. It's huge. We need to collaborate more within Africa before thinking of outside. You know, look at Egypt. The movie industry is thriving. South Africa is thriving. Why don't we come together, you know, bring our cultures together, produce good films, create beautiful content together, and break the box office records too together. So that's a big take home for me. Collaboration is key. And start now. Focus on the advantages. Yes, there are cons too, but focus on the advantages first. Let's make a move first, and that's what I'm going to do today.
Film and television took center stage as the Nigerian International Film Summit and Canex hosted a roundtable on cracking the code of distribution and taking African stories global. The session underscored a shared belief. African stories are ready. Now we need to figure out how the world will receive them.
Literally very hungry for success, and distribution is one of the major key factors that determines where we're going to be, whether we're going to succeed or fail. The takeaway from this event is the fact that we have all agreed to collaborate and see how we can give each other a head start with certain information that we have. So hopefully 2 years from now, let's see whether there was value success for this meeting or not. But I'm very positive that there will be change.
Somebody said, when we talk about the problems, then we find, the pathway to solving the problems. Because really, redemption comes from knowing the problem and then, solving it. My problem with the problem is that most of the gatekeepers for culture are not advocating enough. They are not telling the people who make the decisions of the importance of culture and how culture should be treated as importantly as defense, as importantly as health, as importantly as infrastructure development. Culture is a tool, like Senator Bambu said, of foreign policy. Look, in those days, before internet and all of that, they jokingly said that in a university campus or at a conference that Obasanjo went, when he was being introduced as a Nigerian president, most people who didn't understand, the MC now said, oh, he's the president of Fela's country. So project that into today. We are talking about countries that are the countries of the Burna Boys, the Thames, the Davidos, the Wizkids, the rappers in Ghana, and the Amapiano musicians and all that. So why are African heads of states or presidents not exporting or supporting the talent. What is being defined, these are the things that define Africa. But our politicians are still living in, under the rock, to the point where they still do not understand that cultural diplomacy is all there is today. We all are hooked on America because of how Hollywood sold America. If there is a problem, an American man will come and rescue the rest of the world. Saving the world always rests on an American, right? Saving Africa must rest on Africans, not on Tarzan. The king of the jungle in Africa cannot be a white man.
I think my biggest takeaway from this meeting was actually that we are powerful enough together to build intra-regional infrastructure, distribution of African films, and actually support our own creatives in Africa and not wait from external help to come and help us support our industries. This is our responsibility.
I think we've underinvested. For the 15 years I've been in the industry, we've underinvested in distribution. If you look at the amount of money which has been invested by government, NGO, different development organizations, what's been invested into actual content creation, and then look at what's been in distribution, I'd be shocked if it's more than sort of a 10% into distribution. So what we have now is amazing capacity in terms of creating content. There's content like everywhere, like from the formal to the informal to the really high quality, but we don't actually have where things end up going, right? We've always been distracted with shortcuts where Amazon will come in, will sell to Amazon. Netflix will come in and sell to Netflix. There's always these easier shortcuts when in reality, you need to invest in distribution because that solves everything.
Social media phenomena Kaby Lane drew a huge crowd as he shared his journey from content creator to global household name. His message was clear: creativity needs no words, just consistency, identity, and a global vision.
I actually been posting video for so long, but no one was watching them. That's the thing. I was watching. I was making video on YouTube. I was making like a comedy video for make people. For make. I always had the idea to stay on social media, like to make people laugh. I always try to do that. But back in the years, I had only 2, 3, 4 views, and those views were my mother and the neighbors. You know what I'm saying? And I was forcing the neighbors to watch my videos.
Yeah.
So, I just post a video. Can you watch it, please?
At what moment did you truly realize that you had become a global star?
I think when the superstars of that time start to contact me,
Yes, Will
when
Smith,
Will Smith, when
Donnie Jr.,
Donnie Jr., Tom Cruise, when
Tom
all these
Cruise,
people, Tom Cruise,
like Tom Cruise, okay?
when all these people start to contact me because they wanted to see me, they want to make content with me, I start to say, oh, maybe I'm becoming somebody, But
Yeah. Explain, express. I warned you. I warned you. Only.
Like my mother.
Yeah, our mothers don't talk, but you understand. I warned you. Leave me alone. Hurry up. Yes. And finally, all that for this. Bah voilà. Maybe we hope you will use that on one of your videos, inshallah.
I hope so too.
Kaby, do you have some word, comme on dit en français, un dernier mot, a last word for people coming here?
Yeah, to keep going in their life and do what they like, and don't if you guys wanna do content and post on the social media, don't think too much about what the people are gonna comment to you, because there is always gonna be somebody that don't like you. So you can be perfect, and it's impossible that everybody gonna love you or everybody gonna like you. So just keep going, do the things that you like, stay close to your family, respect your parents, and that's it.
Fashion lit up Canex with designers from across the continent, showcasing innovation, craftsmanship, and cultural storytelling.
Show was a good experience. It was able to showcase various fabrics. For example, a lot of people did not know about ashoke. A lot of people did not know about akwete. So through the fashion show, we were able to showcase the value of akwete, ashoke, and how flexible it is. For example, many people are used to wearing corporate wears and certain materials as corporate wears, but now people are informed that they can use akwete or ashoke and make a suit out of it to promote their culture or promote African unity. We're educated on the fabrics that comes from Africa, from Nigeria particularly, from fabrics that came from Senegal. So it was an educative experience for many people, especially the Algerians here. So before Canex, Algeria was quite closed in terms of fashion. They only knew about Algerian fashion and maybe perhaps other Northern African fashion. But through Canex, Algeria is able to see more about other parts of Africa, and it removes the barriers, the cultural barriers between Algeria to West Africa, Eastern Africa, and Southern Africa. So the reception here, I find it to be quite solid in terms of, again, being that bridge to open up the cultures of various attendants to Algeria and vice versa.
Canex has been very, very supportive for our brand. We're very thankful to the Canex team and Afrexim for the support. And so, yeah, every time Canex calls, we answer. But I would say that one of their greatest experts is their people. Very, very lovely people. They've been, really nice considering the language barrier. So that's been very, instrumental in terms of all the help that we've gotten from the locals here. But in terms of like the trade show, it's been very instrumental, and that's why, like I said, when Canex calls, we answer because these are the steps that we need to take to reach new audiences, and it's been very helpful in terms of connecting with new customers, connecting with old customers as well that have brought their people here. And yes, it's very rewarding to see some of these things happen in real time. Very amazing. We're very thankful. But yeah, we are going back. It's almost like we are going back into the archives, and all of those special garments and the silhouettes that the lady maker is known for is what we are, bringing back to the audience. So it's a treat to our audience, but also a treat to the new audiences that we found here, and we're very happy. And it's been a really special experience.
I decided to showcase my pieces at Canex because I'm African and Canex is about Africa. The interconnectivity that Canex offers was why I decided to come here. I wanted to be able to connect to a wider audience. I wanted, to bring West African culture, West African creativity to the north, to the south, and to the east of Africa. And because of the globalization thrust of Canex, Africa to the world, I want to be part of that revolution. Audience engagement was the most magic about the fashion show. I really enjoyed that, being able to see, the audience and their welcome of Lara Land, their interest, excitement to see a brand like that coming from an African creative, and also, of course, what fashion shows can be like. But we had a lot of very professional people, that we work with that made the experience, a lot better.
We heard about Canex through a friend of mine. For some reason, I'd never heard of it. And it was so crazy. She met me last year. She's like, why are you not at Canex? I'm like, what's Canex? I had to Google it. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm so grateful she mentioned it to me. She's like, next year, you have to be at Canex. And here I am. So I'm just so blown away. And I didn't imagine the magnitude of it all. It's like so huge. And IATF is not even just about clothing or music or about art. It's like this whole big institution, and there are so many things going on, and I'm so blown away. I'm like, wait, what is going on here? This is so huge, and to think we have something like this going on in Africa and people don't even know about it. That's quite sad. But it's like some really good work going on here. The fashion show, oh my God. I mean, it's always chaotic backstage, but it looked so beautiful. All the designers looked amazing. The team from Canex handled everything so professionally. It was beautiful. In the end, we had an amazing show. Everybody looked really good. All the clothes looked amazing. The audience loved it. So I'm just so grateful to be here. I've had the opportunity to collaborate with designers, to socialize, to network.
And at the Nigerian pavilion, exhibitors reflected the depth of the country's creative power, from artisanal work to enterprise level production.
IATF is a very big platform on many levels, and we're opportuned to be able to be part of the luxury fashion exchange at Canex, and we're also one of the Nigerian representatives at the Nigerian Pavilion. So we didn't decide; we were opportune to be at both places. Most people don't get two booths, so having the head of SMEDAM walk the runway for us was an iconic cultural moment. Sometimes it's good to have a face that is not one of the models. It's a face that is known, recognized, and respected, especially in the industry and in the context that is IATF. And yeah, I think the crowd loved it, so we did it. Shout out Charles Odely for doing that. We appreciate you, sir. For people who don't know, our mission at Winston Leather is to create the first global African brand. So the way you have Zara from Spain and you have Gucci from Italy and Louis Vuitton from France, where's the Nigerian brand? Where's the African brand? And it's one thing to complain about that, it's another thing to strap up your boots and do the work. And to go global, you literally have to go global. So
I've been able to connect with so many other creative people from across Africa. And through Canex, I was able to get advisory board members from Kenya, from Ghana. We're collaborating, we're exchanging ideas, and we're seeing how we can work together. And also, Canex has the investors in the room, and there's always a disconnect between creativity and the people who sign the checks. So at Canex, it gives us the opportunity to meet with them and try to understand their language. And more than ever, I have seen the importance of having a mentor with a finance background to help the work that I do. And if you want to be taken seriously, where it's not seen as a hobby, but as a business, then you really have to understand how people with the checks speak. And you have to think about how is this money going to come back, and being at Canex, a lot of the sessions, they have the conversations. It's really like a school. You learn so much, you make new connections, and some of these connections could be instrumental for you to scale up your business.
From music to food, film to fashion, Canex 2025 was a living mosaic of the continent's creative ambition. Afreximbank's vision, the passion of artists and entrepreneurs, and the energy of Africa's youth converged in Algiers to show what is possible when the continent invests in storytelling, innovation, and imagination. As we look towards Canex 2026, one message echoes across every panel, every runway, every dish, and every stage.
Nigeria will be hosting the next edition of the IITF 2027.
Africa's creative economy is not the future, it is the now, and the world is taking notice. Sheiton Atigarin in Algiers, Algeria, for Arise News.